everybody. Robin here from Courage is the Cure. Welcome to episode, where are we? 67 of Rise, Series 3. Series 3. Today we're going to be talking about Substack. Good old Substack. CEO of Substack says the Online Safety Act is bad for free speech. Well, free newsletters to face scans. See you shortly.
Strength of a woman world on her shoulders. Fight through the noise when the world gets colder. 8:32, got the grit, got the fire. Watch her rise, watch her come higher.
Greetings, everybody. Like I said, welcome to episode 67 of Rise. First episode for 2026. We're into the third series of Rise now, which is fantastic. So today we're going to be talking about Substack. There has been an article printed. CEO of Substack says the Online Safety Act is bad for free speech. So we're going to be talking about what was free newsletters, or you could be a paid subscriber too, to face scans and the Substack betrayal in Australia. Okay, everybody. So before we get on with it, I hope I don't sound like I'm in a tin shed. New year, new studio. I'm hoping I've set everything up correctly, so please let me know in the comments if I sound like I'm in a tin shed. Okay, everybody. So, hello to everyone on YouTube as well. We are streaming to YouTube today. Hello, Michael. It's nice to see you on one of my streams. How are you? Happy New Year. Hope you're doing well. I'll give you a little bit of background. Why I'm so interested in talking about Substack is because I was one of the few people in Australia that was actually required to verify my age back in the early part of December when we had the under 16-year-old social media ban introduced on the 11th of December 2025 in Australia, thanks to our Communications Minister, Annika Wells, and also our unelected American E-Commissioner, Miss Julie Inman-Grant. Yes, new year, new set. I've got my fruit salad dress on. I had a bit of an audience today before we went live, and nobody was impressed with my dress. But anyway, I like it. There we go. So yes, I was one of the first very few people still to have been asked to verify their age on Substack. And so I have a particular chip on my shoulder about Substack, but that is why I have an interest in reporting on Substack, and that's why we are here to talk about it today. So where should we start? We'll go back to the 11th of December. Hello, Rachel. How are you? Good afternoon. Hello, Leah. On the 11th of December 2025, I was sent an email from Substack. Good afternoon, Matt. Lovely to see you here. Thanks for joining us. On the 11th of December, I was sent an email by Substack, and I'm sure it's rather difficult for you to read that. So I'll just give us the bold points here. So it says, "Hi there. We wanted to give you a quick heads up that in order to comply with the Online Safety Act, Substack is introducing age verification steps for readers in Australia." Now, let's not forget that Substack was not listed among the major age-restricted social media platforms like Facebook, TikTok, Reddit, X, all of those, Substack chose to comply with requiring readers in Australia to verify their age, right? Let's just remember that they're not explicitly listed among those major platforms, right? So first sentence, we want to give you a quick heads up that in order to comply with the Online Safety Act, Substack is introducing age verification steps for readers in Australia. Why did they have to comply? They weren't on the list. Anyway, here's what you need to know. Your connection with your subscribers won't change. Talks about the way I publish my content, my email list, the publishing process, your relationship with your readers are not affected. Yet this is if you comply, right? Verifying your age is required. That's in bold. Verifying your age is required to access the Substack app if you're in Australia. Once verified, readers can continue to enjoy the full Substack experience as usual. I like how they worded that because it's not just about the readers. I mean, they said once verified readers can continue, yet once verified publishers can continue to publish, you mean. Paid subscribers are already verified. Anyone with a credit card on file, for example, paid subscribers is already considered verified. No extra steps are needed. Well, that's trash because I've heard from people in the UK and Australia. Paid subscribers could not access people's published content, even when they were paid subscribers, and the chat. Paid subscriber chat. So that's rubbish. Substack, absolute tripe. Many readers are already verified because all online platforms must implement age verification. Some users may have already completed this through Stripe or Persona and don't need to do it again. Well, I had to set up a Stripe connection to Substack a long time ago. So why they were asking me for age verification, I don't know. So that's tripe as well. Your data is private. The verification process is secure and handled by trusted providers like Stripe and Persona. So we'll get on to Persona in a little bit. That's for the biometric data. We're complying with the Online Safety Act and are working to make this transition as smooth as possible for everyone. Please visit our policy page for more information, blahby, blahby, blahby. Australia's Online Safety Act is requiring platforms like Substack to introduce age verification for readers. Verifying your age is required to access the Substack Act in Australia. The process is secure and handled by trusted providers like Stripe and Persona, blah, blah, blah. So there's a couple of good points there in that email that was sent to me on the 11th of December that is absolute tripe. Absolute tripe. Not true at all. Hello, Margot. How are you? So why would that be, Michael? Why they haven't asked you? What would that reason be? So that was the email that I received on the 11th. And then what do you know? What do you know, everybody? When I go to my Substack on the 11th to publish an article about Santa going digital in 2026 because of the cash acceptance mandate. Nobody's talking about that, are they? Hey? Too busy talking about Trumpy. Rachel, they're self-censoring just the way the government planned it. So just like clockwork, straight after I read that email, tried to get onto Substack to upload my next article. And this is the page that I was presented with. Verify your age. That is a photo that I took of my computer screen. And you can see it says secured by Persona. So this is the nice one. This is the nice one for everybody. So due to the Online Safety Act, readers in your country must verify their age to access Substack. So they wanted me to upload my biometric data. Well, absolutely not. Persona is one of those companies that they're using for that, and they reckon they would delete your information after a couple of days. Well, that was a big no-no. So we had a few people in Australia that were reporting the same, that they'd been asked to verify their age to access Substack. I've heard all sorts of reports out of the UK as well, as I'd mentioned before, that people in the UK are being asked to verify their age. Now, even paid subscribers who like the tripe that they put in the email about, if you've already put in your details to connect a Stripe account or a credit card, you wouldn't have to do anything. Well, absolute tripe. Not true, not true at all. Because the paid subscribers have to put in their credit card deals to have a paid subscription to an account on Substack, and these people were asked for biometric data, weren't able to access the full chat feature for paid subscribers until they uploaded their biometric data. So lots of reports, and actually more reports coming in from the UK than Australia, but Australia we're hidden in silos. These echo chambers we often refer to. So it's pretty difficult to actually get a grasp on how many people in Australia have actually been asked to verify their age on Substack. So then I noticed, over the days I was going back and saying, does this screen keep popping up? And yes, indeed, that screen did keep popping up until about, I think it was the 29th of December. This screen went away and I was able to access my Substack again. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Able to access my Substack after a couple of weeks. Certainly didn't verify my age, didn't upload my biometric data. So I think they were just trying it on. So anyway, I chose to pause my paid subscriptions on Substack indefinitely. And I did that on the 1st of January this year, on New Year's Day. Why don't I have that here? There it is. Because I don't like being bullied. I don't like being told porkies, like they told porkies in the first email that they sent me on the 11th of December. And especially with Substack, because Substack, is one of these platforms that has built its reputation and notoriety on providing a place for independent writers and journalists to upload their articles, data, research, posts, notes, in an uncensored manner. So I don't take kindly to being bullied by a platform that supposedly provides the platform for independent writers and journalists. No, thank you. So I went through on the 1st of January this year and I paused my paid subscription function indefinitely. And I have written to the people who were paid subscribers on Substack explaining that and telling them why and some other things. So no, 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 thank you, Substack. You can shove it. You can shove it. You can shove it. Um, these people, I'm convinced that they tried it on. Oh, will they comply? Will they comply? No, I didn't. Never will. Never going to use Substack ever again for my articles. I've put 2 posts up, well, actually 3, one of them alerting people to the fact that I've disabled paid subscriptions, and 2 posts telling people where they can read my articles. I'm just going to screen the share at the moment. No good episode of Rise is without screening the share. People can go along to my Buy Me a Coffee page, and you'll see at the top of the page there, it says posts. It's got home, membership, posts, gallery, extras. So under posts, you can go and read all of my articles, and you can listen to any podcast that I do for free, not charging people for it. I don't put anything behind a paywall. So if people want to read my articles, you can go along there and you can read them there. That's the web address down the bottom, buymeacoffee.com/courage the cure. They wouldn't let me put is. I don't know why. Hello, Robert. Happy New Year. That's a funny profile picture. Good morning, Richard. Happy New Year. So that's where people can read my articles now. Okay? Go along to Buy Me a Coffee, find Courage is a Cure, hit posts, and then you can read all my articles for free, so on and so forth, because I'm not going to put them on Substack. So they're not disgusting people. Okay. So then what happened after that? I continued to get reports, especially from the UK. I spoke to Doc Malik. He was perturbed about the reports that he was getting from paid subscribers. Was speaking to Michael Ginsberg from Actionable Truth Media. A few other people. I mean, for a platform that wasn't on the list of listed platforms that had to comply with the new under 16-year-old social media ban, it certainly was a surprise. Now, funny thing was, I noticed yesterday when I was poking around on Substack that they had an ad. I've chopped out the posts above and below it. They had an ad there, so it says, "You made it, you own it. You always own your intellectual property, mailing list, and subscriber payments. With full editorial control and no gatekeepers, you can do the work you most believe in." Now, I can't help but think this is a reaction. Hello, people of power. Nice to see you. This is a reaction to the discussions. I'm guessing it's not limited to just Australia and the UK, but I would suggest it's a big part of it. I think this is in direct reaction to the conversations that journalists and publishers are having about Substack at the moment. People are abandoning Substack because of the betrayal. Betrayal is a really strong word, right? Usually betrayal connotes meanings attached with somebody that you have a relationship with, whether that be a friendship or, these types of relationships, where you've built up a certain level of trust and all these sorts of things. But in this case, I don't think it's too much of a strong word to use with Substack because, like I said before, this platform has built its reputation around providing a place for independent writers and journalists and for uncensored discourse, right? And people over the years, particularly through the COVID war, have come to rely on Substack and believed in Substack, the ethos of Substack, if you like, for providing that uncensored place for people to have discourse. So I don't think betrayal is too strong of a word, actually. So this ad, you made it, you own it, full editorial control and no gatekeepers. You own your mailing list and subscribers. I think it's a direct reaction to people's disquiet about Substack and the fact that people are leaving Substack. They're deplatforming themselves, shutting down paid subscriptions like I have. I'm not the only one doing it. Migrating to alternatives in protest against Substack because of what they're doing. People of Power says, I agree, Robin. They have started their own demise. Yes, shame they didn't stick with their own customers. Exactly. That's right. We need a new saying, everybody. It was go woke, go broke. Well, they're not going woke. What is it? Comply and die? That's what Substack's doing at the moment. Comply and die, mate. Hey? Honestly. So I don't think betrayal is too strong of a word, to be honest with you, everybody. Because as I said, they've built their reputation on providing an uncensored platform, for people to publish their content, independent writers, all these sorts of things. So I think this ad that I saw yesterday is in direct response to that. So why we're here to continue the conversation today, this is the latest installment, is the CEO of Substack. There he is, Chris Best. It's an unfortunate name. Mr. Best. Not doing your best at Substack, are you? Well, there was an op-ed written for The Telegraph. CEO of Substack says the Online Safety Act is bad for free speech. Written by Max Thompson, January the 4th, 2026. The headline sounds great, doesn't it? Hey? Sounds like someone's pissing in our pockets. And another term for that would be gaslighting. Hey? Wouldn't it? Someone is pissing in our pockets, mate. You think we believe you? Absolutely not. So we are going to screen the share one more time. We're going to read this article. And thank you to Mr. Max Freedom for alerting me to this article because I hadn't seen it. I was too busy rearranging my studio. So here we go, everybody. This has been posted to the Free Speech Union, but it's from the Telegraph. CEO of Substack says the Online Safety Act is bad for free speech. Retard. So, you got a cup of tea, everybody? We're going to read all of this because I haven't had a chance to read it. I'm dying to read what Chris thinks about this. So here we go, everybody. There he is. The CEO of Substack, Chris Best, has criticised the Online Safety Act. I'm assuming this would have to be the one in the UK, becoming one of the latest prominent figures to warn of the threat the legislation poses to free speech. Are you kidding me? He's warning us when the very platform is censoring people because they refuse to comply with divulging, surrendering, complying with the demand for their biometric data. Chris, you're a moron. It's only one sentence in, everybody. We're one sentence in. Substack is an online publishing platform for writers and journalists, both professionals and novices, and has become an increasingly important forum for creative thought, debate, and discussion. Its presence in the UK continues to grow, particularly as a communications tool for cultural and political figures seeking to reach wider audiences. Yes, it's one of the places where you can publish, where all of the controlled media and controlled journals won't print the truth, right? So is it any surprise they're trying to get adults to comply with this supposed uh, child protecting legislation? As a result of the Online Safety Act, yeah, it must be talking about England, Substack is now required to comply with Ofcom's new rules and regulations. So do we assume because they've turned on certain features to comply with the Online Safety Act in the UK that they just, oh, well, let's do it in Australia as well? Is that what's happened? I don't know. Just asking the question. Chris Best has said that while implementing these requirements as dictated by Ofcom, the Act's regulator, he has been deeply alarmed by what they entail. Well, you didn't stand up, did you? Oh, you are pissing in people's pockets, mate. You're alarmed. You're deeply alarmed by what they entail. Yeah, okay. In reflecting on the Act and its ever expanding list of obligations, Chris has hit the nail on the head. Oh, well done, Chris. Did we hear it? He's getting a round of applause. A round of applause, everybody, for Chris Betts from the Telegram. He's hit the nail on the head. Hey? Have you? Have you, mate? Have you? Oh, God. Chris has hit the nail on the head. He acknowledges that amid growing and legitimate concerns about children's welfare online, the Online Safety Act may appear on the surface to be a common sense response. In reality, however, he argues that it is something far darker. A system of mass political censorship unlike anywhere else in the Western world. So why are you complying with it then, moron? Hey? I think not only is he pissing in people's pockets, I know it's only Monday and we're already swearing, but, it sounds like he's trying to present himself as a kind of hero. Hey? Far darker. It's far darker. No, I think he's trying to compare himself to Pavel Durov, the CEO and creator of Telegram. This guy actually stands his ground and fights back. Okay? By the way, there's an article in the latest edition of the Light newspaper about Pavel. It seems like Chris is trying to chalk himself up as a free speech defender. Hey? Are you, Chris? Are you? Hero to zero, Robert. You said it in 3 fabulous words. I think he wants to go 0 to hero. He's trying to do the 0 to hero. I think 0 to hero. No. Good, Rachel. I'm glad you've got a cuppa. I don't even think we're halfway through the article yet. All right, let's keep going. Otherwise, we'll never get through it. We'll never get through it. Oh, jeez. In reality, however, he argues that it is something far darker, a system of mass political censorship unlike anywhere else in the Western world. Yes, and you've implemented it, Chris. Chris Best. The best Chris. Complying with the Online Safety Act does not simply involve hiring additional moderators or applying symbolic warning labels. In fact, it requires companies at significant cost to design and operate systems that continuously classify and censor speech at scale. So they're telling us what they're doing because they're doing it. continuously classify and censor speech at scale. So how long is it until publishers upload to Substack and it gets removed, whether it's Ofcom in the UK or Miss E. Karen Julian Mann Grant, like she does with the other social media platforms, says you have to delete it. How long is Substack going to continue allowing people to upload what they like? You know, the spicy needle data, the excess death data, the children dead data. How long are they going to allow people to continue to do that? Huh? So these systems are expected to preemptively restrict lawful expression based on what Ofcom may deem unsuitable for children. So Ofcom is going to restrict lawful expression using their systems passed on down to the platforms because of the online social. That sounds reasonable, doesn't it? So people's companies are not their own companies, especially when they're media, because what you have to comply with the systems that are going to preemptively restrict lawful expression based on what they deem unsuitable for children. It's already happening. It is happening in Australia. Human moderators and artificial intelligence systems, of course, will be deployed to scrutinise essays, satire, photography, and comments on social media posts, scanning for potential risk triggers. Risk triggers. I guess that's when you say some of these words. You know, back in 9/11, back around the time of 9/11, do you remember the trigger words? You know, you couldn't go into an airport. Hello, Gary. How are you? Happy New Year. I was going to say Merry Christmas, but Happy New Year, Gary. But do you remember back in the time of 9/11, you couldn't, you remember going to the airport and, you know, don't say bomb. You know, I think, was it Seinfeld? There was an episode, bomb, 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 bomb. Was it Seinfeld? I don't know. Anyway. So what are those risk trigger words now? Is it words like Israel? Is it words like Netanyahu? Is it words like Jews? Is it words like Palestine? I don't know. Is it oh, I've got one for you. I've got one for you. Do you remember Hillary Clinton doing an interview for CBS after Gaddafi was taken out? And she said, "We came, we saw, he died," and laughed. Well, I have that downloaded, and X would not let me upload it because they can read what your video files, MP3 or MP4s, are titled. It's like in YouTube and all the rest of them. And it would not let me upload that video because I was drawing a comparison between, you know, Trump and Venezuela and Hillary and that situation. No. So that was must be one of the trigger words. We came, we saw, he died. Hmm? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. Michael, we set up our own Substack replacement on Cafe Locked using WordPress. Well done. Yes, I've had a lot of people asking me to do that. I just don't have the time. I'm a one-woman band, and unfortunately, I just don't have the time to do things like that. So that's why I'm using posts on my Buy Me a Coffee. Rachel, risk triggers are words the snowflakes don't like. Yes. Happy New Year, Dales. Hello, Martin. Holy crap, we're back. It's 2026, only 5 more years and it's over. Can we just get to that part? Can we? Let's carry on. So the risk triggers, everybody, the risk triggers. Better watch out for those words like bomb, ba bomb, bomb, bomb. Back in 2000 and, 2001. So what did it say? Human moderators and artificial intelligence systems would be deployed to scrutinise essays, satire, photography, and comments on social media posts, scanning for potential risk triggers, inevitably in attempting to predict regulatory risk. Lawful and legitimate speech will be censored alongside genuinely illegal material. So yours could be a perfectly lawful article. Bugger it. Let's censor it along with the genuinely illegal material. Sounds legit. Community guidelines and standards, not censorship. Huh? Chris believes, this is Chris Best, the CEO of Substack, don't forget. Chris believes these regulations will have a particularly damaging impact on Substack. You betcha. You need to detard Substack. And why don't you start with Chris? Once content is classified as potentially sensitive, age rating requirements often follow. So, does that mean my content was classified as potentially sensitive? Is that why you asked me for my biometric data, Chris? Hey? Substack's readership, overwhelmingly adults accessing lawful material, it's funny, but protect the children, may be required to verify their age via third-party checks, including financial or facial verification. Financial verification? What is that? Gee whiz. Such measures can reasonably be seen as a burdensome inconvenience at best. Oh, here we go, problem, reaction, solution, and an invasion of privacy at worst. Just create a government app and a government approved ID, and then you fixed it. Unsurprisingly, this is likely to deter many readers or potential readers from engaging with the platform. Well, you lost me, mate. You can go and shove it. This harms not only those seeking knowledge and ideas, but also writers whose livelihoods depend on their ability to publish and reach an audience. So what they mean is actually the opposite. So this harms, what is it? This harms not only those seeking knowledge and ideas. No, it's a positive for them. They don't want the truth getting out there, right? Always the opposite. But also writers whose livelihoods depend on their ability to publish and reach an audience. They don't care if people's livelihoods depend on being able to publish. They want people to not gain monetarily from Substack, from informing people. Now, tell me you care about people's livelihoods, Chris. Don't believe you for a second, Chris. As Chris has put it, the result is that vast swaths of legitimate cultural discourse are swept up, bogged down, and discouraged. That's exactly what they want. Chris, how dumb do you think we are? He contrasts this with Substack's core values. Oh, this is good. Encouragement of authorial independence, and a firm commitment to freedom of the press, a cornerstone of any free society. That's why in Australia, they just go, oh, well, we're doing it in the UK. We'll just turn it on for Australia as well. And then we're not actually commanded to by the Karen, eh? Even though we haven't been commanded to, we'll just switch it on because they're actually not committed to freedom of the press. And they don't care about the cornerstone of any free society. Chris has also spoken about the formative role reading played in his own childhood, something his parents actively encouraged. It exposed him, he says, to ideas beyond his immediate surroundings, giving him a window into a world far larger than my own Canadian suburb. No, he's from Canada. No wonder. Ugh. Do I have to spend time looking up his history? He now encourages the same curiosity in his own children. Yeah, right. I doubt it. He recalls exploring the internet in the 1990s, where he encountered both bad ideas and transformative ones, a process he views as essential to developing independent thought. Exposure to different cultures and perspectives ultimately shaped his career as a technologist and the life he built in San Francisco. This is painfully annoying. While Chris recognizes the serious and genuine harms that exist online, particularly for children, he believes the Online Safety Act is the wrong response. I'll ask again. So why are you doing it in Australia? Governments, he argues, have a duty to act, but not by censoring speech. What the Act does, he warns, is force platforms like Substack to build systems that decide when satire becomes a threat, when photography is too graphic, and when content might later be deemed unacceptable by a regulator. It's funny that, isn't it? I reported last year about the post and boast laws in Victoria, and they were thinking about bringing them into Australia. It was designed to um, dissuade young people from committing crimes and uploading it on social media and glorifying committing crimes, right? Um, so he says what the Act does, he warns, is force platforms like Substack to build systems that decide when satire becomes threat, when photography becomes graphical, when content might later be deemed unacceptable by a regulator. So that they bring in legislation in a state like Victoria, so so people don't commit crimes, particularly young people, to upload it to glorify it. And then we have Substack here that is going to deem when content might later be unacceptable by a regulator, so they'll take precautionary measures and remove it. And yet we have the corporate media, these prostitutes who don't even have the right to call themselves journalists anymore because they're not. They're just repeaters. They're repeaters of the government and ugly, disgusting people's narrative. They're just repeaters. We see every night, or people who watch the news, I mean, we see the clips on X predominantly, the violence that they showed the violence of the Bondi massacre. Hey, I don't care if you blur out someone actually stabbing someone. You remember, was it New Year's Eve? There was another big machete attack, and they showed that on the news and just blurred out the actual machete. They don't blur out the motions. They don't mute the screaming and the crying. Often the noises of these acts are disturbing. No, they'll show all of this, the bombings. I haven't seen the corporate media is reporting about Venezuela, but I'll put money on it that they've shown the footage of bombs dropping or however they attacked Venezuela. What they're doing in Gaza. They'll gladly put that stuff on corporate media, won't they? And yet they've got these triggers, risky vocabulary or topics or photos that they'll preempt could be inappropriate in the future, so they'll censor it. Makes total sense, doesn't it? People of power. I'm even a bit worried about Buy Me a Coffee as I think their payment system is joined to PayPal. As far as I'm aware, no. Um, PayPal, sorry, Buy Me a Coffee is linked with Stripe, not PayPal. Yep. I have a lot of people that don't like to use PayPal. So if that is yourself, People can send me an email to courageisthecure@protonmail.com, and I can help you with any questions you might have about that. For fuck's sake, doesn't he even realise that under 16s do not read long form articles? Exactly. There's so many young people rushing to their computer when they get home from school because they're dying to read the latest article from James Roguski or Philip Altman or Ian Brighthope, right? Or Marianne Damasi, aren't they? Yes, they are. Yeah, we know. They could have just said no like the rest of us, I know. I know exactly later. Hello, Rex. How are you? Robert, I reported my Facebook being hacked, used once, and the reply was it goes against community standards and left it there. Gail, my brain is in overload. Oh dear. We've just had a break there. We're being played. They're all celebrating. I know they are. They're all, and this is what annoys me about this article. They tell me that Chris is warning us about the censorship is much darker than we think. You know it is, mate. That's how you want it. That's exactly how you want it, mate. All right, let's keep going. Here we go. More clapping for Chris. Chris is right to highlight the dangers of the Online Safety Act, especially within the wider context of the UK's already expansive policing of speech. You mean putting people in jail for having an opinion? In 2023, 13,800 people were arrested for offensive online posts or messages. 13,800 people in 2023 were arrested for offensive online posts or messages, while 90% of all crimes went unsolved. Oh, that's great. Amazing. See, here we've got Chris Best being presented as another David. You know, I did a show the other day about Kim Iverson was talking to a fella about presented with David and Goliath every which way we look, and there's so many Davids that are there to save us. The Telegraph is presenting Chris Best, the CEO of Substack, as another David, when in actual fact he's standing there with his big rock of censorship that he's just dumping on top of nations, one at a time. I mean, honestly. Substack, Chris says, why would you start a sentence with the word Substack? That doesn't even make sense. Come on, Telegraph, do better. Substack, Chris says. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so they're paraphrasing Chris. All right, fine. Will comply with the law. Yeah, of course he will. However, he rightly warns that many smaller publishers and platforms will not have the financial or technical resources to do the same. So they have to comply or die. Well, you are complying and you are dying, Chris. It is increasingly clear that the Online Safety Act is not what it claims to be. Marketed as domestic legislation, it is now likely to become the frequent subject of litigation in US courts. As Chris has said, it is not the most effective way to keep kids safe, and it hurts a free society. He offers a final warning. If this model spreads, it won't just block content for children, it will determine whether adults can read, write, or argue freely without first submitting to surveillance. Chris? Hey, Chris. News flash? It has spread all over your platform. Because you're doing the test run, aren't you, Chris? Chris is another yes man. I wonder how much he got paid. I wonder how much he got paid. So there we go, everybody. Chris? Ah, round of applause. Chris, CEO of Substack, says Online Safety Act in the UK is bad for free speech. And if it spreads anywhere else, everybody, it will determine whether adults can read, write, or argue freely without first submitting to surveillance. Is he not aware of what's happened to Substack in Australia? Of course he knows. Of course he knows. Hello, Michael. Substack can still be destroyed at this point. I know this is why I'm enjoying this show and why I've done it. One of the reasons. Unlike the much bigger platforms, however, the backers of Substack will pivot to a different business model if we don't act fast enough. Exactly. Exactly. I agree, Michael. Many hands make light work. Rachel, he's a bit behind the 8 ball by the sounds of it. Oh, no. I think he knows what he's saying. I think he knows what he's saying. He's gaslighting, he's pissing in our pockets, he's a yes man, he's been paid to do so. He's living in 1984 upside down land, 2 + 2 = 5. Yes is no and no is yes. Right? People of power. Chris can go. Oh, I had a great term for that. What was it? Oh, I can't remember now anyway. It'll come to me. It is crucial Substack is made an example of by being destroyed. Exactly. And this is why I'm doing the show today because I want to highlight Substack, because obviously the UK has had their Online Safety Act also, and as we've seen, 2023 there was over 18,000 people that were put arrested for thoughts online. I want to highlight this because as I said at the start of the show, this platform Substack has built its reputation around providing a place for journalists and researchers to publish their uncensored articles, research, discourse, all the rest of it. It is not lost on me that the CEO of Substack would think that he can pull the wool over people's eyes. Now, if he truly believes any of what we just read through in that article, where they've got direct quotes from him, if he truly believes any of that, nobody on Substack would be required to divulge their biometric data or upload government-approved identification. Hey, I'm getting real sick and tired of these people continuously insulting our intelligence. Continuously insulting our intelligence. Nina, I think Chris has perfected the art of talking out both sides of his mouth. Yes. Disease X. Oh, hunting the next pandemic. Martin, Substack is now substandard. Moving on next. Yep. Subtarded. This is a subtarded platform. How embarrassing, Chris. You're an embarrassment to publishing. Full stop. You're an embarrassment. Subtard. Subtard platform. Substack is substandard and subtarded. Yeah, Chris is a subtard. Treat these people seriously. I mean, it's an absolute joke. Mention Mark Anderson and A16Z if you haven't yet. They are also major investors in Stripe and almost any big tech brand you know of, including Meta, which they were early backers of. Martin, never trust a man whose forehead is bigger than his beard. Oh, poor Chris. Now we're just poking fun, aren't we? I can't help it because you are a subtard. And he is most definitely gaslighting people, pissing in people's pockets, and it is a complete betrayal to all of the things. He's talking about his childhood and learning about other cultures and perspectives, developing independent thought. Oh, you're a disgrace, and you are part of the problem. You are submitting to surveillance, and anybody who wants to use your subtarded platform is submitting to surveillance. They'll get to everyone sooner or later. They've been trying it on. Trying it on. He gives subtards a bad name. Hmm. Well, there we go, everybody. That's Substack. I don't know if we'll have another update. Who knows what's going to happen with Subtard? But I don't know, it might just be the beginning, eh? Maybe we might just see the fall of Substack. And Chris Best is doing his best to betray independent, free thought, independent publishers, researchers, and writers. Alrighty, everybody, that's it from me today. Thank you all so much for joining me. The first show of Rise for 2026, episode 67, series 3 of Rise. Series 3 of Rise. Make sure you have a wonderful afternoon. People can go along, as I said, to my Buy Me a Coffee and click on posts. You can read my articles going on from now for free on my Buy Me a Coffee page. Because I won't be publishing on Substack. No. Yes, people of power. Yeah, I'm sad too. And that's why I use that word betrayal. It's a very strong word. But I really love Substack as well, and it's like let's say they have blindsided everybody. They've just come right at the sun and go, "Shh, no, you don't comply, get out." You know, I don't take kindly to being treated like that. Absolutely not. Hello, Clark. Happy New Year. Nice to see you here. Here we go. Martin, defund Substack. Makes money by taking 10% cut of paid subscription fees that writers charge their readers. Yep. Plus an additional 3% for payment processing fees. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. All right, everybody. So I wish you a wonderful rest of your evening. As I said, that is it from me today. And talk to your friends who like Substack about the recent developments of Substack. I think a lot of people would be surprised. A lot of people would be surprised. And the last thing I'll leave you with is this headline, right? CEO of Substack says the Online Safety Act is bad for free speech. You know what people do? People just read headlines, and it's not very often that people click on the articles, nor pay attention to anybody like me who's been rabbiting on about Substack and their trash. And so I've seen it on X. People are going, great, 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 great. Oh, that's great, great, great. Good on Substack. Because of this deceptive headline. of this op-ed. I mean, honestly, it shits me to no end. Shits me to no end. Dishonesty. You can't call yourselves journalists anymore. Who's this Max Thompson? You're a disgrace as well. Disgrace. You're peddling, as prostitute corporate media always does, this bullshit. Anyway, rightio, that's it. Thanks, Ruth. Thank you for watching on YouTube, PooTube, Substack, Subtard. Yep, we're getting the names and write them all down. Cheers, Robert. Okay, that's it. We'll see you all very soon. Have a wonderful evening. See you.